So, we're starting our tour of the Shanghai tunnels, otherwise known as the Portland Underground. We started our tour at Hobo's restaurant, and we're going to, I guess, go down a shaft and see what we can find.
Now you walk down through these trap doors. You officially enter the Shanghai tunnels, a place where the darkness and shadows still hides the truth of the past.
A few little stories about young hands, small hands actually touching you.
Even ghosts.
Oh, we're going in. All right. But when you look down to see who's touching your hand, there's nobody there. But yet you can still feel it.
Now, beginning in 1850, here in Portland, they were talking about Shanghai. It meant kidnapping men and selling them to sea captains who forced them to work aboard their ships for nothing. Now, Portland was a jumping-off place for the Orient, and the furthest port these ships were going to go to was the port of Shanghai, China. So we called it Shanghai. They didn't wait for any orders for men to come in before they went out and got their victims. Instead, they went out in advance to places of vice, like bordellos, opium dens, gambling parlors, saloons, pool halls. They collected their victims, they brought them to the underground, locked them up in holding cells, made them available for these sea captains 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. No other city was like this. This is why Portland had an old saying, that there was always an able-bodied crew waiting for a needy captain. The Matchers was here to break their fall. The objective wasn't hurting one. The objective was to remove the individual from the world above, get him to the underground as fast as possible. This door worked on a counterweight system and it would slam back shut. And no one in that saloon would have seen a thing. The Shanghaiers knew the only way to accomplish this was to keep the men at the bar drinking. And if somebody was standing at the wrong place at the right time, first thing the bartender did, he pressed a buzzer warning 2 people stationed to get ready. They had company coming. This was called a deadfall. Now they called it a deadfall not because people died when they fell to the floor, but for the next 3 to 6 years the minds will consider themselves dead because they had no control of their life. Shanghaiers knew where each and every place of opportunity was to get their victims. And if anyone wandered to the wrong area, they would snatch them. Or the term they used back in those days was harpooned. When you were harpooned, you could not get away. They drag you off to another section of the underground where they locked you up in a holding cell. They get into this opium den. Patient would come down through that trap door in the alleyway's floor. Down this stair ladder right here. When they got into the underground, they would purchase their opium, which they were going to smoke in pipes, and go on their opium dreams. Now on our tours, lots of people have commented about seeing this lady standing in the back of the opium den. Not only have they seen her, they have photographs. Nina, the belief is she was Klickitat Indian, lived along the Columbia River. She was grabbed by white slavers, brought to Portland, and sold into prostitution. And this is where she and others like her were going to die. In the 1880s, when Nina was in this area, missionaries came down to the Old North End and set up sailor missions. The objective was to draw these men out of places of vice. They befriended Nina. They told Nina, you help us, give us all the information you can about these Shanghaiers. We'll get you back home to your family. Now Nina knew she'd be risking her life, but she had to get away, so she reluctantly agreed to help. After a relatively short period of time, Nina had provided so much information to these missionaries that they naively took it to the police. They wanted to know who had provided such details. And when they mentioned Nina's name, it sealed her fate. 2 nights later, Nina was thrown down the elevator shaft. And they say that ever since the night of her death, she's been sighted walking along 3rd Avenue, even in Hobo's restaurant. When people see her, they will approach her because of the way she's dressed and ask her if she's going to or from a costume party. They say as soon as they speak to her, she turns around and walks away, not saying another word. The last time she spoke, it cost her her life. And they say as she walks away, she will disappear right before your eyes.